What's up, fellas? It's your boy Scott from SB Dating. Some of you guys are brand new to me, other guys have known me for years. If you're brand new, welcome in. I put together this free training video for you today, which is going to show you how to gain massive amounts of confidence with women and have a dating approach that puts you in the driver's seat, puts you back in control, and gets you beautiful women day in and day out, my man. You're also going to see through this process my backstory, how I had social anxiety growing up, and I was basically avoiding women like the plague. And you'll see the three-step process that I did to not only overcome that, but start to live a life where I felt like the absolute man, going out and being able to approach women, be confident, understand them, date them, live in that abundance that so many guys are looking for. And I'm going to show you that exact process for yourself to implement it into your life today. With that being said, this video, it's 30 minutes. It's raw. There's no music. So if you're looking for that quick dopamine hit, this is probably not the video for you. And honestly, if you can't get through a 30-minute video, which is going to greatly improve your dating life and fix the stuck issues that you've been stuck in for so long, then maybe you're just really not ready for this sort of transformation. And that's 100% fine. But for the others, if you get through this 30-minute video, you're going to get so much value from it and things that you could immediately implement into your life. And I'm super excited for you, bro. And I'll see you on the inside. What is up, fellas? Hope you're doing good today. I am here to solve a very, very common issue, a phrase that I hear all the damn time as a full-time dating coach, which is I see women all the time, women I want all the time, but I don't approach them. And there's so many things that go into this, but at the end of the day, if this statement is true about yourself, you're probably a guy that's single, you've got a good job, you're in shape, you even see some potential. I'm sure you see women looking at you here and there. Maybe you've had some dating experiences in the past, things that felt like they fell into your lap. But overall, you're seeing women you want all the time and you're not able to strike, right? I give an analogy to my guys, almost like being that Lamborghini without that engine. It's like you got it going, you have it all on paper, but you're not striking, and as a result, it feels like dating is almost like a lost cause, right? You're talking dating apps, talking trying to meet people, friends of friends. I'm sure all your friends are taken, and you're maybe the only single one. Whatever the case is, man, I'm here today to give you a three-step process that's going to take this statement you see right here on this screen, this I see women I want all the time, but I don't approach them. We're going to take that statement. We're going to flip it on its head. I'm going to show you the three-step process that I use for myself and that I use for my guys, which is going to help you overcome this as soon as possible. Now, I want you to stick around for number 3 specifically, because number 3 is the real secret that ties everything all in together. So without further ado, let's get into the rest of this video. It's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be informative. It's going to be valuable. And if you see my my mouth moving a little bit, delayed with the camera, I'm going to try to adjust it at the end through my editing. If it gets too annoying for you, bro, just, I don't know, don't look at my face or something. I don't know what to say. All right. So let's get into the rest of this. So let's take this statement, let's flip it on our heads, and let's make it no longer a part of our lives. Now, to do so, we got to talk about a couple of things first. Now, first and foremost, why am I even sitting here with you today, able to give you this information? Well, here's the truth, bro. I was diagnosed with social anxiety in 2018. Now, at the time, I was in college. I was working at a car dealership. This wasn't a new thing to me. I grew up very socially awkward, felt like I was behind everybody socially. And as a result, I went to the doctor. I finally realized what it was. I looked it up. I'm like, it said social anxiety. I went to the doctor. They did a test on me, all that sort of shit. They prescribed me sertraline. So I was on antidepressants for 2 years. During those 2 years, it was rough because one day I would feel okay, the next day I didn't. And I was kind of backing away from the root cause of why I had the anxiety in the first place, right? They try to make it seem like it was like this deep, deep disorder, which it did have some things having to do with my childhood. But overall, I had to stop taking them because I just felt robotic and it wasn't actually attacking the real issue. But through today's video, like I said, I'm going to show you exactly what I did to overcome this shit and become that guy who could go out confidently, talk to beautiful fucking women left and right, feel like the man, and just really take control of your dating life. Now, my typical day with women, at the time I was still in college, so I would see women all throughout campus, right? You see a chick in class, you see a girl walking from class to class, you go to sporting events, you just see beautiful women all the time. And I would sit there, I would just fantasize about these girls. Like I wouldn't actually go up to them or say anything to them because when I did, I felt this resistance. I felt this like, I don't know what to say. What if I come across too awkward? Like I almost didn't want to infect this woman with my awkwardness, to put it frank, right? And this wasn't new. Like I said, I had felt this way my entire life with everybody. So coming off of a breakup at this time, this really hit me. And it was that same story. And I just felt like a little boy. I just felt like I wasn't taking life by the balls. I was scared. I wasn't going out and getting what it is I wanted. But the thing that really fucked with me was I was seeing other guys I knew getting it done, going to college parties. I'm seeing all these men less attractive than me going, seeing the chick, talking to her, taking her back to his room. I would even go to the local supermarket. I would see like the same thing, just guys that were just so confident in themselves and confident talking to women. There was just no fear there. And I was jealous. I was jealous. And it's part of the reason why I even started this journey to be that man. But overall, man, I get it because I lived it. And this is the reason why I'm able to sit here today and give you this information. So there's really three ways of meeting women, fellas. Now, here's the thing. You got dating apps, you got social circles, you got approaching women are your three options. It wasn't always these three options. It used to just be two options. Dating apps weren't a thing. You know, dating apps have just recently been a thing in the last, I don't know, decade or two. So the common story that guys see on apps is they go on a freaking app. They're not seeing the quality of women that they want. They're swiping. They're dealing with flaky women, women just ghosting them. And it's just a hassle, right? You're relying on an algorithm to give you what it is that you want. And if things aren't hitting on the app, it's like, what other option do I have? And then with social circles, as we grow up and we get out of high school and our whole circle just, like levels up, not even levels up, our circle just like people from high school, just we're not talking to them anymore. We start living our life. We got our career. We're working our 9 to 5. Only people we're really seeing is the people at work, maybe some of our friends. And that a lot of times isn't a good enough way to meet women because you don't want to shit where you eat at your job, risk your career with drama. I've been there. It wasn't a career. It was like job stuff, like McDonald's and stuff where I was dating women that I work with, but it never turns out good. So if dating apps aren't working for you, your social circle isn't bringing enough women for you, how else are you meeting women? Because if you aren't meeting enough women, then you're not going to have an active dating life. You can't have one thing without the other. So it all comes down to approaching. This is why approaching is the best way to meet women because it's limitless. You could walk outside of your house right now and go talk to a woman and try to spark a romantic date out of it or something. And to be honest, bro, this is what your father, and his father have been doing since the beginning of time. Like, I make this joke all the time, like, not really a joke, it's true. My father in the 90s cold approached my mother at a gas station. There was no dating app, there was no Tinder, no Hinge. He had friends and he would meet women through his friends because they would go out together occasionally. But, bro, I'm the product of a cold approach, to be honest, which is really funny when you think about it. But he created that. He went out and he was able to put himself forward and take control of his dating life. And that cold approach at the gas station, for he thought my mom was beautiful, he went up and talked to her. That turned into dating, which turned into marriage, which turned into me, essentially. So the point is, if you're not meeting women through these other avenues, what are your options, right? What other choice do you have other than to meet women organically through the places where you're already going? And that's a part of what we're going to be talking about today. So this is the typical rundown, right? So you watching this, you probably, let's say it's a Monday morning. Chances are you work a job. Usually we work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It's usually the typical work schedule, typical career. Now you go into work and You go into work and you get on that lunch break. Now, when you go on that lunch break, probably going to go out and grab something for lunch, or maybe you go and take a walk. And as you're doing so, boom, there's a woman that you find really, really cute, that you find really, really attractive. But instead of going up and talking to her, it's that same story, right? I don't know what to say. I'm too awkward. What if she doesn't like me? I don't even know if I'm her type. And so walking out of that, it's like, damn, you look back, you're like, damn, what would have happened if I did say yes? Or if I did approach her? What would have happened if I did talk to her? I liked her. She seemed really attractive. She seemed like, almost get a sense that she might have been your type, even on a personality level. But if you're not making those moves, then it starts to fuck with you. Now, that same day, you go for that lunch, and you go to that cafe or that takeout spot, and then you walk in and you see this cute girl at the register giving you the food. And instead of making it a nice interaction and saying something, you just say, "Hey, I'm here to pick up my food, and my name is this," and then you walk out and you sit there and you wonder, was there something there? Then your day is over. You clock out of work, you drive, you're in shape, so you go to the gym, and then you go to the gym and you see another woman that you want. Another woman just working out, attractive. Maybe you look at her, you guys make eye contact. And instead of going up and talking to her, it's that same story. I don't know what to say. How do I go about approaching her? What if I get rejected? All of these things are flowing in your head. So that's Monday. And then Tuesday comes around, the next day, and you tell yourself, all right, well, I got to run some errands today. So you go, same story happens. After work, you're like, all right, I got to go grab some clothes for an event coming up, and then I got to go grab some groceries because my fridge is empty. So you go to the grocery store. You're coming down the aisle, and you almost bump carts with another girl. And you look at her like, oh, I'm sorry. You just keep walking. But you thought she was cute. Why didn't you go up and say something to her? Why didn't you actually go for that? Again, same story. I don't know what to say. What if she rejects me? I feel like I don't feel like myself. I don't think it's gonna go well. And that same day, you go and you run some errands. Same thing. We all been there. You go into the store, and there's the woman. She's like, "Oh, can I help you with anything?" You're like, "Yeah," or "No, I'm good." Right? She's smiling. She's attractive. And again, it's that same story. You want to strike, but you're not striking. Okay? You're not striking. Now it's Wednesday, right? And your buddies are like, "Hey, let's go out after work." So you guys go to the local bar. You guys set it all up. As soon as you clock out, you guys are all taking the GPS car by car. You're going. Maybe you live in a city. Maybe you guys walk there. You get to the place. You walk in, and immediately you see like a group of girls. And again, they're attractive. You would want to go. You're looking at a couple. A couple of them are suitable options for you, but you're not making that move. So you say to yourself, all right, you know what? I see them. Let me go to the bar. Let me get a drink. Bartender's cute. It's like, all right, well, do I spark a conversation with her? You just get the drink. She's smiling at you. She's nice. And again, we're not striking because it's like, hey, what do I even say to her in this moment? Like, what if she rejects me? I don't want to bother her. She's at work. Then you look to your left, and you got the guy, always the guy at the end, chatting up the bartender like they know each other, like they're messing around with each other. And then you look to your right, and then you see that there's a guy who's at the bar with like one or two women, and he's just free-flowing. He's confident. They're touching up on him. That he's making them laugh. And it's just an experience where you sit there, and you're kind of like trying to ease the mood with the drink to hopefully give yourself the confidence to spark any of these conversations, and it's just not happening. And again, it's that same story. What do I say to her? I don't know what to say. What if she rejects me? And it's just this constant loop. And at the end of the 3 days, you've run into 10 to 20 women already in your week that you could have talked to, but you're just not seeing yourself do it. And it's messing with you. It's messing with your confidence. It's messing with the way you feel because it's keeping tabs. The next time you're in that situation, it's getting even worse and even worse, right? And that's just the typical story that I went through and that I've also seen guys go through themselves. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. You're constantly in this situation. You want to approach these women. You're holding yourself back. You're not thinking it's going to go well, so on and so forth. And it's almost like these excuses keep popping up in your head. Like there's always an excuse as to why you're not doing it. Always. See, we know what those excuses are. Like, I don't know what to say. What if she rejects me? What if I'm bothering her? Like, we know the typical excuses, but nobody really tells you, like, where are they coming from? So there they are, right? I don't know what to say. What if I'm awkward? I'm not good enough. She doesn't seem like she'd be into a guy like me, right? Assuming that she's not going to be into you. Ask yourself, what if she doesn't like me? Maybe the last time you talked to a woman like a year ago or 6 months ago, she was upset or it wasn't a good moment and that kind of ruined your experience moving forward. Like, where are these excuses coming from? Because you know that the excuses are what's really stopping you from doing it. So where are they coming from? Here's where they're coming from, okay? When you say, I don't know what to say or what if I'm awkward, what's really happening is you're not confident about the process of talking to her. You don't believe in yourself or you don't feel like you got the skills of having an interaction that leads to something. When you're telling yourself you're not good enough or she doesn't seem like she'd be into a guy like you, you're not viewing yourself as the guy who belongs, as the guy who's attractive, as the guy who's feeling like the man. You're not feeling like that guy. You don't look at yourself as that guy. So that's where those excuses are coming from. Then you got the typical, like, what if she doesn't like me? Or, like, what if I get rejected? Or last time didn't go well. Well, that just means you're worried about a rejection. You're worried that if you step into this conversation with her, it's not going to go your way. That's what you're concerned about. So when all of these excuses are coming in, obviously you're not going to be approaching. Obviously, even when you're talking to women, it's going to feel negative. You're not going to feel present. You're not going to feel confident. Of course you're not. It makes complete sense. You know, no one has broken it down like this for you, but these are the real root things that are making these excuses happen. Right? But we could even go a layer deeper to really understand like what each one really, really means, right? So like, I'm not confident about the process of talking to her. That's a competence thing. Like that's a competence, like having the ability, like being able to trust yourself to go through the process of getting something from this conversation. Identity, right? If you don't view yourself as the guy, that's an identity thing. Like you're not feeling like you belong in that convo. Worried about a rejection, that's a scarcity thing. If you had an abundance mindset, if you understood and you weren't so focused on the outcome, then you wouldn't be worried about a rejection and you would probably step in to these interactions, right? So that's another point is if all these excuses were removed, there's nothing stopping you from going and approaching these women because if I always knew what to say and I was confident about that and I viewed myself as the guy who belonged, that was attractive, that could get it done, and I didn't put women above me, I felt like I was on her playing field, like she wasn't out of my league ever. And I wasn't living in scarcity where I'm just scared of a rejection. I'm scared of what she's going to say next to me. If all those excuses were removed, then we could assume, and I've seen it for myself and my other guys, my clients, is that you turn into that guy who could effortlessly approach women throughout your day to day, and it becomes fun, right? So I'm smiling is because it's really like this simple. Right? But a lot of these excuses come from something deeper that you got to recognize. And these are just a couple of my clients, like just so you could get more of a view of like what it looks like in maybe your words or their words, right? So my guy, Steven, right? He told me before he even started working with me, he said, I avoid situations that could result in failure. Well, that's scarcity. You are concerned about getting rejected. So you're not stepping in. So you're avoiding women because you're looking at women as a rejection automatically. So you're trying to avoid that, right? Luis, my guy Luis, right? He goes, kind of like I make myself feel like I'm not enough for this person, so I just keep on pushing. He doesn't even think he's enough for this person to even step into a conversation with them. That's an identity issue. He doesn't view himself as the guy, right? So again, It's like we're sitting there wondering why I can't do this, and the answers are not, I wouldn't say right in front of you, but the answers are right here, right? So here are the 3 shifts that you need to make to fix this today. Okay? These are the same exact shifts that I do with all my coaching clients that actually get them past this issue and get them from walking around in fear of women to actually talking to women, wanting to talk to more women, because when you shift it from fear to fun, everything goes in your favor. You make this a part of your lifestyle where you're actually getting results and you're actually meeting women. These are the 3 shifts, bro. These are the 3 things that I teach them. Okay, and the first shift is internal validation, which I'm going to cover in a second. The second one is the charismatic flow. And the third one is what ties everything in together, which is my secret coaching framework. So make sure you stick around to the very end so you get that. That is what ties all of this shit together. All of it. And it's the secret for why I'm able to get my guys such good results, and why my guys don't even feel like this is a stressful thing that they go through, because of this secret coaching formula that I have, that I've used for myself, and I still continue to use this in each step of my life. Right now, I'm just trying to be like the best dating coach I could be, and there's other things I want to improve for myself. I use this same step 3 for that, so stick around for that. Starting off with the internal validation, eliminating that fear of rejection. Why? Again, if we step into conversations thinking and worrying about the rejection, our brain is all the way in the future. So we're not even going to step in the first place. So why is this so important? It's because when you flip that and you start to think of just approaching women, just stepping into the conversation, where does your win start? Does your win start when you step into the conversation, or does your win start from when you get the result? If your win is only attached to when you get the result, then my friend, you're going to be very unconfident and stumble your way to the end to try to get a result. My guys, what I had to shift was their win starts when they show themselves they could actually go and step into those conversations. Not worried about the result, not result oriented, because everything in this life, when you stop focusing on the result of it, the results come to you better, right? When you're so focused on the result of things, they run away from you, right? So when you turn that external validation, like, oh, I need this from her, I need that from her, and you flip it around and you kind of start the win sooner, that's when the internal validation, when you actually step into that confident man of yourself who isn't focused on any sort of rejection and he's unfazed by it, right? So let's get into the next one, which is the charismatic flow. Now, this is the most common story that guys face when it comes to talking to women. It's probably one of the bigger reasons why you're not approaching the women you want, is because when you get into a conversation with women, this is how it goes. Hey, how you doing today? Doing good, doing good. Awesome. You look good tonight. Where is it you're from? Oh, okay, you're from that town. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Do you like it over there? Okay, you like it over there? Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I've been there a couple of times with some buddies. It's a cool town. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So what did you like major in college? Okay, you did medical. Do you work in medical right now? Okay, you work in medical right now. How do you like it so far? Right? And like, that's the experience that you give because you're a logical conversator. There was no emotion in that. It felt like an interview. And you know before you approach women that that's the experience you're going to give her. A very logical one, where as you're going through that process, even if the woman has any bit of attraction for you, you're not seeing it because you're stuck in this logical frame of conversation. You're not allowing yourself to speak in your charismatic way that's actually within you, where your personality is free, where you know how to emotionally engage women. So what happens when we talk to women like this on this logical plane is we're not seeing any emotional responses from her, right? She's very neutral, and that makes us feel less confident. And honestly, it kills her attraction as well. because she doesn't feel anything when she talks to you. It feels like the same experience that every guy gives her. And you have no traction for that attraction, and everything just feels like small talk. But in order to fix that, you got to understand that that's the pattern. And until you fix that pattern, you're going to be in the same position, right? Now, for the guy who could flip that around, he's not limiting the woman just to questions, or he's not limiting the woman just to stuck topics, or giving her, oh, okay, cool, awesome type of responses. The less you do of this, the more you're able to emotionally engage a woman through avoiding this at the start and giving her a different type of experience. Bring your personality into the fold that you know you have and start speaking to the woman the moment you have right now, instead of all of those things that you think are important right now, like figuring out what she does for work, all these different things, right? And that is one of the starts to how you're actually going to start to know what to say. Because if you knew what to say and you stopped giving this type of experience, you would feel better about stepping into these conversations. You would feel more competent. So you're eliminating the competence feeling like you're going to give her the same experience you've always given her, that logical experience. You've eliminated the fear of rejection through flipping to an internal validation mindset, removing that result-oriented mindset. That cures the fear of rejection. This cures the competence. You still have to deal with that identity issue. If you don't feel like you belong in this conversation, it's probably because you grew up, maybe you grew up chubby, or you didn't grow up that guy. And so now when you see women, it's always a pedestalization. You always feel like she's up here. And you just never really feel like that guy. You never feel like the guy that you know you could be, the guy that's confident, he's free-flowing, he could get it done. That's where this secret number 3 comes in, that I promised you before I was going to show to you. And this is the exact secret that I use for myself and for my other guys to get them so much results, just so naturally and free-flowing. I'm going to show you in a second. And it comes down to, do this for who you want to be and your strong why. What I've realized with men, and I've realized with myself, going out to get women, to get relationships, and to get more dates is not enough motivation for us to actually go and take action. It's not enough. If it was enough, you would have already been doing it. If getting more dates and getting that relationship you've always wanted was enough motivation for you to step into uncomfortable situations of failure with women, you would have already been doing it. So the same journey I went on when I was going through this myself, and I saw these other guys who were more confident, they were getting these women, they were confident, they didn't care about the result, they seemed high value, it was just so free-flowing and natural for these guys that I would see. I knew that I wanted to be like those guys. And for me, it was deeper than just getting chicks. Remember, I grew up not feeling like the man. I grew up with that social anxiety. I grew up feeling needy towards women, being that nice guy. I never felt like the man. Even when I had girlfriends, I used them as a filling the void. I never truly felt like the man. So that was my motivation, bro. It wasn't all about women for me. It was more about, if I could be that guy who could go out and confidently talk to women and have his life sorted out and date beautiful women, and he sees a woman he wants and he goes and approaches her and he's just free-flowing and he's confident and he's unapologetic and women love him. I knew that I wanted to be that man. Mind you, that guy also has the great career, the great social circle. That's the guy I wanted to be. So that's why I did this. I saw the guy I wanted to be, and I figured out, how could I step into that man? What does he think? What actions does he take? How does he feel about himself? I aligned myself with that man, and I let that be my motivation to go out and have this successful dating life. It was really just because I wanted to be the man that I always wanted to be, that guy at the bar, that friend you have that could go out and just effortlessly attract women. I wanted to be that guy. So what happens with my clients and what happened with me is through this process of improvement and formulating a dating life that you've always wanted. Not only did we remove every single excuse of your fear of rejection is gone. You know exactly what to say to women each and every time. But you still don't feel like the man? We now take those excuses you had before and we turn it into motivation. So instead of thinking, I don't know what to say to her, it's, I'm going to approach this woman because of the man that I want to fucking be every day. The man I want to be would go and approach this woman. He would be in that conversation. He wouldn't be nervous. He wouldn't be freaking out. I take this action today because of the man that I want to be. And this exact process took me from this kid who was sitting in his dorm room, avoiding chicks all the time, watching corn, or we'll call it corn with a P, all the time, unconfident, avoiding parties, just a little boy. That's what turned me from a little boy to the guy you see today on the right, where I'm on a mission to help as many men as I can throughout this dating process and self-improvement. And it was through this exact number 3 secret that I was able to do it. And that's the secret. And once you're able to look at the guy you want to be, realize your strong why, dating becomes so easy because it means so much more to you. Going out and doing this thing means so much more to you. It means just stepping into that guy you've always wanted to be. And over time, through coaching, you will become that guy. It's inevitable. You just have to put yourself on the right track and know how to get to where it is that you want to go and step into it. And those guys before, this is what happens when you release those floodgates. You take this step by step and you make it your reality. All right, the same guys that Steven had the rejection issue and Luis had the identity issue. As you can see, means more than just getting more women. It's also about becoming the man you want to be as well. So if you're watching this video, this is the exact process. But if you want this speed tracked into your life, let's hop on a call, 15-minute call, where me and you will talk. It's not a sales call. It's me and you will talk about your specific dating situation, almost like a dating audit, where we'll go in, we'll talk about your very specific scenario. What's going on in your day-to-day? What's happening in your dating life and where it is that you want to go? Where you feel like you're falling short of being the man you want to be? We'll chat about that. We'll also talk about what needs to be in place for you specifically to get to that other side so you could gain that clarity, similar clarity that I was able to get for myself on how I could directly become the man that I wanted to be, that had the women, felt like the man, was confident, free-flowing, could go and just talk to any woman I want to, just be a creator in control of my own dating life. Those are the sort of magical things that happen once you have the clarity of your specific situation and what you need to do next. That's exactly what I'm offering you. Link is in the description below for a free coffee chat, 15-minute call. Book in your slot, and I will see you in the next couple of days, my friend. Peace out.